This story begins with a group of criminals carefully planning their next move on something that is not immediately revealed to us, but it becomes clearer over time. This group meets near a theater class where a little girl named Abigail is practicing ballet alone. When she leaves and gets into her car, a tracker attached to it shows exactly where she's going, leading to the next part of their plan. When Abigail gets home, she quickly runs up to her room and talks to her dad on the phone. With the help of the group's computer expert, 3 of the criminals manage to sneak into her room. Before she can react, they jump on her and give her a sedative that knocks her out. Before the guards notice anything, the kidnappers carry the unconscious girl to their vehicle, completing the third part of their plan. After driving for several minutes, they arrive at a safe house where Gus Fring from Breaking Bad is waiting for them. It turns out this man doesn't like to stay on the right side of the law. We learn that he is the one who put the group together to carry out this plan. The goal is to get Abigail's dad to pay them $50 million to set her free.
Who's the girl?
Fuck's that matter to you?
A very wealthy man who's about to be $50 million poorer.
To make sure everything goes smoothly, the owner of Los Pollos Hermanos asks everyone for their phones to prevent them from being tracked and to ensure everything goes according to plan. Before leaving, he tells them that all they have to do is wait 24 hours for the deal to close. After that time, he will return to the house to pick them up.
See you in 24 hours, my lovely pack of rats.
For now, their only job is to babysit. Now let's get to know the brilliant group of kidnappers in this plan. There's Frank, the former cop who is very smart and suspicious. Peter, the muscle who isn't too bright. Sammy, the rebellious rich girl who's good with computers. Dean, the sociopathic driver, played by the late Angus Cloud, so we'll give him a bit of respect. There's also Rickles, the ex-Marine sniper, and the black guy, who will probably die first, because that's how it always goes in horror movies.
What? What?
And Joy, the seemingly smartest of the group, a single mom who is a doctor and a recovering drug addict, doing this to start a new life. To make sure everything is in order, Joy goes to check on the little girl. In a moment of compassion and also stupidity, she removes Abigail's blindfold and unties her arms from the chain she was secured to, so the girl wouldn't feel so bad. The problem is, just as Joey's about to leave, Abigail ends the chat by saying, "Joey, I'm really sorry for what's going to happen to you."
Joey, I'm sorry about what's gonna happen to you.
Intrigued by this, Joy goes back to the team and tells the ex-cop about it, asking if he knows who the girl's dad is. He says he's clueless, but curious, he goes up to the room. Since Abigail's blindfold was off, she sees him for a sec. Threatening her, he forces her to spill her dad's name, and she says it's Christophe Lazar.
Who is your father?
My father is Christophe Lazar.
This makes the cop decide to quit the job and leave. He reveals the info to his mates, who get immediately worried.
What happened? You can't just leave without telling us what's going on.
That little girl is Christophe Lazar's daughter.
Who's Christophe Lazar?
They tell the blonde that Christophe Lazar is a big-time mob boss who runs most of the city and is so powerful that some folks think he's just a legend. But he's real. Despite the smartest thing being to leave, the group decides to stay because everyone needed the money, and what they were going to earn wasn't exactly pocket change. So, they get to work, keeping the place under surveillance and waiting another 22 hours for Gustavo Fring to return. After about 40 minutes of introductions that no one asked for because we came for action, the real deal finally kicks off. Dean was wandering around the house, scaring the blonde and drawing doodles on the tough guy's face.
Dean, it's Dean. I'm sorry.
Not funny.
You can have it.
Get out!
Listen.
When he accidentally stumbles upon a kind of mural where, strangely, there's a little girl who looks exactly like Abigail. But he shrugs it off and heads to the kitchen for a snack. Then, there's this noise from the cellar that freaks him out. When he goes to check it out, bam! Something crazy strong grabs his legs and yanks him away in a flash. Sammy hears this and walks over, finding the guy sitting at the table. But surprise, his head just falls off. The blonde's scream gets everyone's attention, and the more experienced ones figure only an animal could have done something like that. They suspect it might have been the work of someone they call Valdez. You see, there's this urban legend about a few years back when the cops nabbed 3 Lazar employees. They offered them a deal: spill the beans and get protection. So, they locked them up on the 27th floor of a building, with cops guarding the door. The weird part? Next morning, those employees were torn apart. The only way in was through the window, like flying in. Whoever did it got nicknamed Valdez, and now there's a hunch this thing might be in the house with them. Since risking their lives was already too much, Rickles decides it's better to hit the road, quitting the job and giving up his share of the money.
I'm out.
You coming?
Rickles.
But leaving wasn't easy. The door they came in through was blocked, and trying to open it put the whole building on lockdown.
Stand back.
So, they're stuck. They'll have to stay and do their job because there's no way to escape. Trying to watch their backs because they really didn't trust anyone else, Joey teams up with Rickles to keep an eye on the others. By this point, someone could have betrayed them. Or worse, one of them could be Valdez. Joey turns around, and just 5 seconds later, Rickles is attacked and ends up stiff as a board in record time.
Rickles?
All right, guys. I don't trust anyone anymore, says Joy. Well, I don't trust you either, says the ex-cop. Peter tries to pin Abigail down and forcefully extract any helpful information from her. But before this dumb muscle guy can shoot, Joey stops him. Frank and Sammy arrive a moment later. Both Frank and Peter and Joy argue. Things heat up, and while they waste time, Abigail frees herself from the handcuffs like it's nothing.
He's fucking talking to her.
No.
Peter?
Guys.
Shut the fuck up!
The sweet girl shows her teeth and lunges at Peter to bite him, but the ex-cop nails her with a terrible headshot, leaving her incapacitated for just a few seconds before she gets back up like nothing happened, like she's Deadpool.
Oh, hello.
It's at this point that the group realizes that Abigail was Valdez all along, and there was never anyone else in that place. She started the whole mess. At that moment, they start gathering information about the weaknesses they know of vampires, like their fear of garlic, crosses, and sunlight. And they also remember that supposedly, a stake through the heart kills vampires too.
Okay, how do we kill a vampire?
Garlic.
Stake through the heart. Daylight is a big one.
Armed with this info, the group pays a visit to the girl. But as expected, everything goes south. They return beaten up, with Joey being the voice of reason. The girl suggests they can still inject her with the sedative that put her to sleep when they took her from her house. So for now, the plan is to find her. As usual in these stories, the group splits up instead of staying together, even though there's a supernatural entity chasing them. That's when the blonde finds a pool full of body parts, obviously belonging to the previous victims of the little vampire girl. While the muscle guy was sharpening a pool cue, the girl shows up and all hell breaks loose.
I got her trapped in the upstairs hallway.
After some action, they finally manage to put the little maniac to sleep. But the blonde girl gets a nasty bite on her arm. And like in all vampire movies, now she thinks she'll turn into one of them.
What the fuck is gonna happen to me? I don't know.
Meanwhile, the group locks the little vampire girl in an elevator. This is when the truth comes out. Abigail confesses she planned the whole kidnapping scheme. There is no $50 million or anything, and it was all so she could be locked up with them and feed because she's starving and twisted. She also reveals that somehow they all messed with one of Christophe Lazar's businesses, her father, which is why she selected them to feast on as revenge. The ex-cop remembers his old days and stays to watch her while the others go find a way out. Since a gate wouldn't stop a super strong vampire, she breaks free easily. Almost about to kill the poor guy. But Joey shows up just in time to remove some boards and burn the girl's hand with sunlight. However, it starts healing almost instantly. I told you, this thing is like Deadpool.
Oh, hello.
The plan now is to find the operations room so the blonde can reset the house's security. So, once again, the group splits into two, and this action is what's going to seal their fate. Abigail activates the vampire Wi-Fi and takes control of the blonde, turning her into a vampire and killing the poor guy when they find her. The other two run from her, and by a twist of fate, Joey reflects sunlight toward her, making her explode.
That was fucking whoa.
Behind them, an unsuspecting door opens on its own, and inside they find none other than Gus Fring.
Backstabbing son of a...
You're one of them! He's one of them!
No shit, Frank.
Who was also a vampire, and had actually been turned by Abigail to work for her. The owner of Los Pollos Hermanos offers the ex-cop to team up to take down Abigail and Kristoff and take everything. With nothing to lose, he accepts, only to be betrayed and turned into a vampire by him. The ex-cop kills Gus to take everything for himself. But when he's about to finish everyone off, Abigail reappears to fight him, but she's too weak to do it alone. So she needs Joey's help to finish the guy, and the epic brawl begins again. In the end, the tremendous duo manages to defeat the ex-cop.
Oh, fuck.
In exchange for this, Abigail decides to spare Joey's life and let her go. But at that moment, Kristoff appears to assert his authority. Although he doesn't harm Joey because, in a way, she helped his daughter, and that's enough. In the final scene, Joy leaves the place, not fully understanding what the hell had happened that day, and drives away, never to return, concluding the story. And that's it. Abigail and her vampire dad lived happily ever after, I guess.